Hi, my name is Jason Sacamano, and I teach geometry honors here at Sacamano Academics. This is just an introductory video for students who are taking geometry honors at Cherry Creek High School. I've been helping students in this class for 20 years, and so I know how the class works and what to expect and what kind of questions students encounter usually at the beginning of the class. So I just want to make a video explaining that to everybody. Um, so the first thing is you have a summer packet. Um, Let us know if you need a copy of that. You should be able to Google it and find it pretty quickly if you just do Cherry Creek High School summer assignments. Um, but for geometry honors, and also if you're going, you might be directed to this video too if you're in the new class, which is Honors Geometry / Algebra 1, because we expect there to be a lot of overlap between those two classes. And there's a separate summer packet for that course. But make sure you have your summer packet done by the first day of school. That's when it's due. And that's really the first thing you want to do. If you need any help on that, we have resources here. Get in contact with us. If you sign up with us, you should get access to help materials online right away. Um, the next thing is the first quiz of the year. It's very soon. Usually your quiz like the third, fourth day of school, often. So look out for this. Um, it's usually just algebra review though. Okay. The summer packet, it's I think pages like 3, 4, and 5 are the ones to really look out for because those are the algebra skills you need early on in geometry. In terms of the other pages of the summer packet, that's all very important algebra, but you don't need it as much at the beginning of the year, so they'll usually quiz you on that later on, at least more thoroughly. So I would focus on those. They'll give you some worksheets for additional practice at the beginning of school as well. Those are good. And again, we have practice tests here for all the quizzes that are in geometry honors. So this one included, and that'll take you through all the kinds of problems I would expect you to see on that first quiz. It's important to do well on your first quiz. I always tell students, because that's your first impression you're giving to your new teacher, and you want your teacher to always look at your name on the page and think this student's going to do well, not, oh, I better get out my red pen and start marking things wrong. So you want to make a good first impression. So I encourage students to put in good effort and good work right at the start of the year. Um, Trying to make a good first impression. And the other thing is, since you're in the highest track at Creek, they usually want to make sure that students belong there because it's a pretty tough track to be on. So if you don't do as well, they'll sometimes like to have a conversation about maybe moving down a level. So if you want to stay in the highest level, you want to make sure you perform well at the beginning of the class so that you can stay on that track if that's your goal. Um, they just want to make sure that everybody who's on that track can handle it and keep up with the level of difficulty. So those are the first big things that I like to remember. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was, how does high school and middle school math differ? One of the biggest things that I just like to warn kids about is homework. Um, in middle school, they're really trying to train you to work hard and be a good student. So they'll often grade your homework for accuracy. They'll often make it count for a lot of your grade. In high school, they kind of expect you to have homework figured out. And what they're going to test you more on, or grade you more on, is your test performance. What do you know about geometry? Not just did you do a lot of homework on geometry. So in terms of this class, what I want you to think about with homework is an opportunity to learn and practice. It's not necessarily what your grade is going to be based on. So I actually want you to care about your homework, but I don't want you to stress or obsess about it in the same way maybe you did in middle school. So I have a lot of very good students who will stay up late into the night stressing about their homework. And what I would rather those students did is, do their best, try their best on a homework assignment, but know that they can ask questions in class. They can ask their teacher for help. They can come and they can ask me for help. If you're part of the Sacramento Academics program, we'll help you as well. And don't waste hours trying to figure out math problems on your own that maybe you can get help on instead. Definitely try them, but don't, you have a lot of new stresses in high school, and I want you to make sure you manage your time well. And I know a lot of very conscientious students will get a little stressed out and maybe lose sleep over trying to finish some really tough homework assignments. And it's okay to ask questions. Homework is practice. Homework is a learning experience. So I want to take some stress off you in that way. We have lots of homework help guides, both online and in person, when you join Sacramento Academics, so we can help with that as well. And we do some teaching ahead and give you some really good step-by-step approaches for figuring out difficult geometry problems. And so we'll give you some coaching on that as well. The next thing that I want to talk about is tests, obviously, because if your homework only is maybe worth maybe 10% of your grade, then that means the rest of your grade is going to be your tests and your quizzes and your final exam. So um, there's some stress and some pressure there. You got to do well on your exams, so you want to make sure you're prepared. Those tests are going to be of this format. About every week, you'll have a quiz on what you're currently studying. It'll be like a smaller quiz. And then every 3 to 4 weeks, generally, sometimes in a 2 week period, but generally every 3 to 4 weeks, you'll have a big major test. They're big, they'll often last 2 days. And those are actually worth even a lot more points. So that's a good way to catch up. If maybe you had trouble on one of those smaller quizzes, you can gain back those points on one of the big tests. And I usually say, like, put in your best effort in Geometry H on those big test weeks, because that's where most of your grade is determined and where you can really make a difference. So again, we do a lot of coaching and a lot of preparation with students for those big exams, and we can help you out with that as well. Your teachers also will help you. Your teachers will, and they give you a practice test for each of those big tests, so that you can practice the types of problems that will be on the test before the test. We also give practice tests and quizzes over here. We have multiple versions of it that you can practice, and before each of the tests and small quizzes that you might have over there. So we do that weekly test preparation over here. So that's the other big thing that I want to talk about. It's an ongoing conversation. Lots of students just getting used to high school and getting used to high school math and all of these ideas and new challenges. We'll have more questions. So we hope to see you this year. We hope to be helping you out if we can. And if you're in Geometry H, you might not have had me as a teacher yet or been with us, but maybe you've had older siblings or friends who have been with us, and we've helped out. So we hope to see you, and thanks for listening.